The MAGA cult is starting to splinter. There is a crack in their foundation that has come from the JE files. One thing about MAGA is their rhetoric was always on point. They always parroted the exact same thing, no matter what, but they're not doing that anymore. If you go over onto Twitter, you will see people who are die-hard MAGA, die-hard Trump supporters saying different things. People are questioning their loyalty to Donald Trump and if this whole thing has been an entire scam, stating grocery prices really aren't going down and they've just been saying it. Gas prices are the same, stating that he's been saying there are going to be arrests for many years and nothing has happened. Others are stating that his loyalists are no longer loyal anymore. People like Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are worthless, and they are going to be the reason that this administration fails. But they are saying this administration is going to fail. Then you have the tried and trues who are talking about anything that he is talking about, stating promises made, promises kept, and they're okay moving on from the JE files. Either way, there is a crack in the foundation, and they are not parroting the exact same thing anymore. They are not as united as they have been in the past, and that is huge.
There's one indicator that should let you know that MAGA is falling apart in front of our eyes. And no, it's not the demonstrations from last weekend, but those should be an indicator to you that you are part of the largest organic political movement of our lifetime. And no, it's not the very funny and very public MAGA civil WAR going on right now. It's that people that have been waiting years for their opportunity to be the leader of this movement are taking their shot right now. You see, DT has painted himself into three different political corners. Number one, tariffs. He will either continue with the tariffs and intentionally wreck the global and domestic economy, or he will back off again and be forever known as the taco man that always chickens out. Number two, after running as the peacemaker candidate, he is running us headfirst into a very large global conflict. And number three, his big beautiful bill is nothing more than a massive wealth transfer from the poor people that supported him to his rich buddies. And in all three of those instances, he has to make a choice that will abandon someone in his camp. And he did all of this to himself. So given this reality, prominent media stars and media moguls are shooting their shot. They're picking one of these issues, picking a side and saying this is where they differentiate themselves from DT. Why are they doing this now? Because they know it's over. They've been waiting years for their chance to lead this group, and they've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to right the ship, and they know it's now. Now or never. The fact that so many of them feel so emboldened to say whatever they think should tell you that he doesn't have power over them at all. The fact that this is happening at the same time that all these demonstrations are going on and there's a massive MAGA civil WAR going on makes it the perfect opportunity for them to shoot their shot. It doesn't mean that they're going to be effective at taking over. And it doesn't mean that they weren't with him through a bunch of other stuff that they were okay with and only now are differentiating themselves. We remember. But that doesn't mean it's not beautiful to see. And it sure is still a great day to be right about absolutely everything.
Hello everyone, it's Anthony here, and thank you for watching my videos. Welcome, subscribe. Yeah, so you saw the other day, Vivek Ramaswamy resigned from Dodge to become the Ohio governor. Then Elon Musk served it for a short time. Then he moved out of it and started bashing Trump. MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is clashing with Donald Trump on the release of Epstein files. Farmers throughout the country are blaming Trump for their soybeans, for their products not being bought abroad. These movements at some points which they were focused on solving when they got into power. But when they got into power, Trump focused more on his sole interest, not the interest of the movement. That's why you are seeing all these cracks, all this rebellion in the movement. Yeah.
So I think that if there's one thing that all of us on the left can agree to is that when it comes to getting anything done, we absolutely suck at that and we tend to cannibalize ourselves before we're actually able to make any progress. And I gotta say, nothing is like sweeter right now than watching that happen on the right. Between the issues with Joe Rogan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, I mean, the examples just continue to go on, and it has been so sweet watching them eat each other and watch their movement fall apart. And it's also not just been the major figureheads either, because I also see even regular schmegular MAGA supporters going on and fighting with each other in the comments of Candace Owens flipping out on Steve Bannon interviews. I mean, this is truly the hope core that I've been waiting for since the election. So between this and the fact that the MAGA movement is led by an actual idiot, I don't see how they could possibly recover from this. I mean, right now we're seeing Donald Trump make massive careless mistakes, like with everything that's going on in LA. I mean, this is going to be the downfall of the movement.
I didn't care how things were affecting others until it affected me. Am I proud of that? No. We live in a very cruel world, and sometimes the only way to survive is by being selfish. We are all just out here trying to survive as best we can. And although we may have good intentions and we may be empathetic and we may be compassionate, we will always put ourselves first because we have to survive. And if that means making a mistake in my vote or maybe putting my trust in the wrong person like I did, then that's what it means. I will always put the betterment of my family and vote in ways that I think will help my family above anyone else.
Here's the problem with voting for your self-interest. I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're on the bottom and none of your needs are fulfilled, you can only think of yourself. But here's the problem with that, is you voted for your self-interest. So did everybody else in the Republican Party. Think about that for a minute. You voted for your self-interest, but you don't have anything. Like, you don't have anything. Like, that's what it is. But other people, rich people, they have a lot. So, of course, they're going to vote for their self-interest because they have something. You don't. You need the tribe, right? The socialized healthcare, the socialized dental care, schools, firefighters, police officers, all socialized systems. Is it clicking yet? You voted against the tribe. You know, humans didn't make it on their own. We always existed in a tribe, taking care of each other. You could only take care of yourself if you have something, and you don't have shit.
I hate to break it to you guys, but this idea that if Trump is dethroned, MAGA will fall apart and then we can all start to put everything back together again is an absolute fallacy. At the very least, because it ignores the fact that most authoritarian leaders don't lead cults. And I understand that people need to cling to things for comfort, but like, let's be realistic. MAGA, the cult, is a tool or a vessel. It's a symptom at best of the very real issues. A lot of what is driving what's happening right now has been in development for literal decades. Trump and his personality being an effective leader for this momentum and movement has been useful, but it's not going to be required if you do everything right. And by right, I mean, of course, dismantling everything effectively and ensuring that you capture a way to permanently maintain your own power. Just because Vance is a wet blanket doesn't mean we're gonna be fine. In fact, the fact that he is so much less bombastic actually bodes very poorly for us. People have studied satisfaction rates and support for authoritarian leaders, and you might be surprised by some of the results. As it turns out, what people dislike the most is obvious repression. That's it. Like, people who live under autocratic censorship don't actually mind it unless it's obvious. Another big predictor about satisfaction with authoritarianism is the economy. And if someone else broke the economy that you're just sitting on, well, that can be a good thing. In fact, under authoritarian governments, regime or leader changes actually give a huge boost in morale. Leaders that don't get swapped out don't enjoy that bump, including in systems that are meant to appear to be democratic. This idea that the cult-like energy is the only thing that's sustaining or propelling what is happening right now is a mistake.
So guys, in the comments, tell me, who do you think will lead the MAGA movement when Trump gets out of office? Who do you think will lead this movement? Because as it is currently, I don't think J.D. Vance will be there. absolute leader of this MAGA movement because perhaps he has no stance like Donald Trump. JD Vance is more of someone who shifts to get power. He is a man who bends to power, as in his opinions can shift with time. Not like Trump, who, if he is vested in something, he'll do it. Like he's a man who is fixed on something, and I think that's why MAGA movement likes him. As in, if I hate this and Trump's hate this, then he's my guy. But a man like JD Vance is a guy who has no stance. Like in 2016, he was bashing Trump, but he had to support him so that he could become the senator. He had to support him so he could be the vice president. I believe so. But they are like guys like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not more of a politician, although he was threatening to make to start a political party that would maybe compete with the Democrats and Republicans. But I don't think Elon Musk is. He has money, but he has no that political clout to become a leader of the MAGA movement. Yeah, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I don't believe so. DeSantis run, maybe let's see 2028 what brings. But MAGA movement at the moment, it will be no more. And if MAGA movement splinters, this will be a huge problem for the Republican Party. Because there are Republican parties who don't support the MAGA movement. So if Donald Trump is out of office, will the MAGA movement fit again into the Republican Party, or will the Republican Party fit into MAGA? It's a question, hard question to answer. So guys, subscribe and give us your feedback in the comments. What do you think of MAGA movement?